Like you? Like me? Like us?
Like me? Like you?
Thanks for hanging with us. This is Meghan, Like Us. I'm Erin.
And I'm Danielle. You're watching us as we recap the Netflix show with Love Meghan, but we're just at episode 1. We're at episode 1. So we're going to have to catch up with Meghan to see where she's at. But before that, where you been, Erin? Where have you been? Let's catch up with you.
I have been watching a lot of Cowboy Carter tour on YouTube. That's where I've been. Missing the Cowboy Carter tour. It came and went too quickly.
I agree.
And I don't want to say I'm in mourning. It's a celebration of life.
It's a celebration of life. Honestly, I couldn't help it. Like every time it would go live on TikTok, and I never, ever skipped like a Rumi video. Like I haven't skipped one yet.
I'm learning cozy right now.
Well, I don't have anything really to catch up with. I think my dog Fonzie has been driving me nuts lately. I'm not able to do anything. He wants to bark at me for anything when you call.
He's a pandemic dog.
He's a pandemic dog. He's a sweetie pie.
He's a rescue.
He's a rescue.
We give him grace.
We give him grace, and he's so cute. He's
really
a big
cute.
lovey boy.
He's really cute.
But I guess let's get catched up with Meghan. See where she's been. So it's now July 2025. So with Love, Meghan's been out for a little bit of time. We've actually got to see quite a bit of conversation surrounding her and people who are feeling like the show might be a myth. Meghan, since, has been posting on social. She's been sitting down with a lot of podcasts, doing interviews, and just like updating us on her business. As Ever did a big drop not too long ago. Everything's sold out.
I missed out.
I missed out too.
Next time.
Another lady who sounds like she missed out, though, is this writer of this article I found. I actually don't know her name, so forgot. Sorry about that. But this article popped up this month on Lainey Gossip. It's titled, "The Jam Discourse Must End." And to be honest, Erin, this woman's getting a little salty, okay?
Not salty jam.
Maybe she needed a space to vent. So basically, this article talks about Meghan's many podcast appearances lately, like we talked about, noting her appearances on Emma Greed's podcast. She seems super annoyed that Meghan even had to bring up the topic of, as ever, her jam line, as we might all know, having to use white labeled products to supplement her supply chain at her farm.
Right? It's what I love and it's what I want to share. So what I was cooking in my home to figure out recipe testing to scale that to a level where you can share it more broadly. And of course, compliance is different globally when we get into that market, which we will.
You're going global.
How can we not?
I mean, how can you not?
Yeah, but it's the spirit of sharing.
One note that this writer does make that is not haterish, though, is that she's like, this is completely normal. A lot of companies do this. And a lot of companies also have NDAs when they do these white labeling, like when you share. So Meghan, of course, is not going to talk about that. So this person was like, it sounds annoying that Meghan kind of has to deal with that. She feels that Meghan's brand is leaning towards the Kardashian space. And to me, as an Angelino, I think of Kardashian. I also think of like Angeline, like pink Corvette, like branding herself.
Famous for being famous.
Famous for being famous, right? I mean, we would even say that even Kim has borrowed some elements of that from Paris in a more modern context. But before Paris, there was people that were doing that. So I feel like, if anything, this is actually Meghan being like an LA girl. Like, this is kind of what we do a little bit. Like, we come out with a t-shirt line.
She's living her dream.
She's living her dream. But this is my last line from this that really took me out. It's not even fun to fight about Meghan because her haters are deranged and her super fans are so humorless.
Well, I don't know if I'm a super fan, but when I started watching with Love Meghan, and this is from someone who like hadn't been following the Duchess of Sussex too closely, I realized that this show is hilarious. And I don't know if it's meaning to be funny, but we're going to get into a play-by-play, a recap. I'm kind of sporty, so I love a play-by-play. So we're going to get into that for episode 1, which is called Hey Honey. And Meghan's longtime friend and makeup artist, Danielle, comes to visit. He's also the global director of artistry for Tatcha. So, he's putting in that work. So basically in this episode, she's showing us her bees and her honey. Meghan shows us that she's making a welcome basket for Daniel because he's her house guest. They make candles and beeswax and a honey lemon cake and some parfaits. So the episode opens and Meghan's in a bee suit. And I think we need to pause there for that. Because what is the bee suit? But also, it's so memorable. And also, like, bees are scary. I'm on bee talk sometimes. Like, I also would be in a bee suit. So I do feel like this is her being like it's relatable. Like, I would do this too. But Meghan in the bee suit is, love it.
First shot, bee suit.
Again, like I said, it's funny.
You have to use your bee voice.
So then she talks to the beekeeper. And the beekeeper's telling her, like, you're getting so comfortable farming this honey. Like, you don't even really need me. And she, like, dramatically is like, no, I need you. And the fact that she, like, tells this man that she needs him in this, like, very melodramatic way, it's just, again, kind of just shows us that, like, Meghan's a little quirky. Like, we're learning that she's quirky very right off the bat. Then she, like, goes into the house and the activity transitions into her making bath salts, and she's snacking on what looks like Trader Joe's pretzels.
Yeah, it's definitely Trader Joe's pretzels.
Yeah, we've all seen that bag. And so she goes into making this, like, beautiful crudité, and it's prepared very simply. It's just, like, some cut up veggies, but it looks super yummy. And honestly, I love some chopped up veggies, so I'm here for crudité all day. Then Danielle comes over and she, shows him his basket with all of these lovely things that she's put inside of it. And she's asking him to help her, continue to cut things. And Danielle cuts his finger and she's like, oh my God, oh no. And it, like, kind of stops the show. And you can tell that this is, like, very clearly the first episode. And so, like, something going wrong also gets, like, what are we gonna do? Someone cut their finger, but they resolve it really quickly, and then they start getting into, like, a more comfort, like, friend time. You can tell that Danielle and Meghan are real friends, mostly because he checks her in a way when she's talking about, like, oh, and you can just have things on your counter, and he's like, girl, I live in New York, we don't have counters. And, like, that to me was just, like, so relatable and fun to see her talking to a real friend. In this conversation, they mentioned the TIG. And the TIG is a blog that Meghan ran back in the day, probably when she was, like, a little bit bored on set making suits.
100% bored and stuck in Canada.
Yeah. And, I wasn't into the TIG because it was kind of before my time, if I'm allowed to say that. But we've all had a blog.
We've all had a blog. Erin, tell us about your blog.
I had a Zynga, like I was deep in the blog days.
I had a Tumblr.
Does Zynga.com even exist? I don't know. But yeah, so, I do feel like Meghan blogging and wanting to do something fun also felt really relatable.
Yeah.
And, like, I like that she's bringing that up. Kind of to also tell viewers who didn't know about the TIG that she's not new to this. She's true to this.
She's been making content for quite a while. And before she was even knew Harry, probably.
In the homemaker space.
Yeah.
This was a thing that she always liked.
Yeah, it's something that she's into. And I think, like, really every girl maybe born after, like, 1979 or something, I don't even know, has had a blog.
It's truer.
It's like us. I think this is our first like us.
Tale as old as time.
We'll get into that later.
So then we see Meghan just, and I hate to say it, I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but she's just so pretty. Like, I think every episode we might need to just mention that, like, Meghan is gorgeous. And there's just these shots of her where the camera just picks up on this beauty and you're like, I know I'm watching a food show or a homemaking show, but, like, oh my God, this woman is, like, drop dead gorgeous.
And, like, amazing skin that just glistens.
She's so pretty. She's a pretty girl. So then they go into making pasta, and the pasta looks super good and appealing. It's like this tomato-based pasta. I don't really know what it's called, but it's like she's using kind of like the pasta water to create the starches. She's using, like, a tomato to kind of make this, like, fresh sauce. And honestly, in watching this episode, and the thing I love the best is, like, she actually uses, like, onions to, like, give the flavor.
Yeah.
And I ended up making this at home, like, the week that I watched it, because I was just like, this looks so good. And it did taste really good. So shout out to Meghan for, like, the low-key kind of bougie pasta recipe that's super attainable and super easy to make. The only thing that I feel like in my critique of the pasta is, like, Meghan, like, we need to talk, girl. Why are you doing these small portions? This, like, just one, she just takes the tong, and it's like, when you go to, like, a bougie restaurant and they just give you, like, 2 noodles and they're like, here you go. Like, Meghan's portions of this pasta were like, it's not my ministry. It didn't resonate with me. But then they start talking a little bit more about like how she loves being cozy. They mentioned Beyonce cozy, which is funny because like I also am into Beyonce cozy. So I was like, oh my God, Meghan, you're like me. Then we go back to Beekeeper Brandon, and like this Beekeeper Brandon man, like I hope we see more of him throughout the series. I feel like he might need his own show. I love bee content. I'm on Bee Talk. Like I'm into Beekeeper Brandon. And Brandon, what I like more is that he calls Meghan out. He's like, you didn't even used to like honey. And she's like, well, I didn't like honey before, but now this is great quality honey. And like, I love her ability to like, when she gets called out, she kind of like catches herself and like falls back into like a relatability thing, which is really cute. Then they go to like a different kitchen and they start working on candles. And this is kind of like an arts and crafts with Meghan time in a really cute way. The candle wax did look like cheese, but it was candle wax. And I think the candle making process in general on the show, it's pretty cutesy funny. Like they added this like I Love Lucy style music in the back score. Her and Danielle clearly are like not making candles on a regular basis.
They're fighting for their lives.
The wicks are falling. Like it's so cute because it's like it's not great, but it's an easy attainable activity. We all can make candles. Obviously, Megan's not doing this all the time. And I love that she's not pretending like she does.
She didn't, yeah.
She didn't pretend.
That part.
Not
that
for
part.
1
Not that
second
part.
did it seem like it was a thing she does on a regular basis. Then they're like, okay, we're going to make dessert. So they start making this great cake. And something that really stuck out to me is as they're making this cake, which I love cake. I think cake for all occasions. But they like use a Ziploc bag for the frosting. Not that that's a bad thing. It just was like, honestly, that was an unexpected choice for me. Because I think that like when you're, I grew up watching a lot of like Martha Stewart and Ina Garten, and like usually those ladies are not using Ziploc bags.
They're using every single thing that's like, they actually will use like a melon scooper.
Yeah, like
or like the strawberry.
Exactly,
topper.
like proper
Yeah.
utensils for the task at hand. But like us, we're not always using pastry chef level things. We're using a Ziploc bag and cutting the end and piping the frosting. And I actually really enjoyed that was what they were doing at this point of the show. I just felt like it felt really relatable and fun, and the frosting looked amazing. And the final cake also looked really good. And then that's kind of the end of the episode. We see like Meghan and Danielle and their friendship. We learn more about Meghan in a lot of ways through this episode. But again, like I said, it feels very much like episode 1.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see kind of where the rest of the series goes.
So what do we think? I mean, we are now in a space where lifestyle content is growing and we're getting more diverse voices from just the originators like a B. Smith or, women who are in that lane for a while. We're getting, luckily, people like a Nara Smith or like a Tabitha Brown. And now Meghan gets to be a part of that. And Meghan gets to continue that voice too. I think that's really exciting, actually.
Yeah, there's definitely like an emerging audience for folks who want to learn how to cook. And then I think especially people who are starting off more from the basics. And, again, like coming from, folks who haven't always been in this lane, but maybe are doing the homemaking in their own homes. I feel like this was a really great start for the show. And it's really clear that Meghan is like locked in on making this look real. And I think it resonates to, like we said earlier, like she's living her dream life. Like this is very clearly something that she always wanted for herself, was to be someone who could make stuff from scratch and who could have friends over and make, a crazy welcome basket, which like, I'm not doing that when you come to my house, but like, I love that that's an aspiration. I love that like we can move there, and Meghan's like living in her truth of being able to do that. And I found that to be really fun this episode.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people might see her as like calculating. But I think that like really that is what you should be trying to do. Like if you're living in your authentic truth and you feel like you have something that you want to share with other people, I think if you have something given like that, you should share it.
I absolutely agree.
And I think also Meghan is a great example of that. You're not stuck just being a wife or just a mom or just a princess or a duchess. You're not stuck just being an actor. You could also have some agency with how you choose to show up as a brand. And it's been really fun to see her do that, especially as a biracial woman. We need more faces. We need all the colors.
Yeah, I think she's living her truth.
She's living her truth.
And the last part that I will have to say about what I think is when I go back to the quote that we shared at the beginning of this episode from the writer who's saying that Meghan fans are humorless, like so funny because, and I know that this show is not meant to be a comedy, like it's not meant to be funny, but like Meghan made me a fan. Episode 1, I became a fan because she's so herself and so quirky that it's like, it is funny. And low-key, she's hilarious. Like Meghan's low-key very funny. And like, I'm enjoying watching the show and laughing out loud, not at her, but just like with her, and what I can tell is making her feel entertained.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, Meghan is just, if I could archetype her, no pun intended, but if I could archetype her, I feel like she's like the straight A girl in your class who happens to also be pretty, just as pretty as she is smart, and just as has just as much agency as well as she is smart and beautiful. Okay, Erin, so Meghan's really relatable, but how many likes us do you think we have this episode?
I mean, there has to be a few, right? Like to start it off, like, I mean, I mentioned the bee suit, but I think even more like us is the Trader Joe's bag, right? Like when I saw that bag of pretzels, I was like, girl, I know you were fighting for your life in that parking lot like the rest of us.
The terrible parking of Trader Joe's.
It needs to be studied.
We need to do a science on it. She's friends also with like her hairstylist, which yes, everyone's friends with the hairstylist, but he's actually her work friend because they worked together on Suits for many years. He's a friend of her for 15 years. I think he said that her kids call him Uncle Daniel. And that to me is relatable. I have so many friends that I've collected through the years of work, and now like their kids call me aunt and stuff. So that is actually a very relatable moment to me.
I think on the Danielle angle too, like the fact that she made up like a fake business for Danielle in the moment when they were doing that, the candles. And it's like, that is like, that feels like how you talk to your homies, like where you're just like, girl, start a business. Like what is the business? Like, it doesn't even matter, but this was going to be Danielle's candles. And like, I like that they were definitely like cheeky with each other. There was also a moment, and I didn't hit it in the recap, but like Danielle's like, oh, I'm going to leave. And she's like, where do you have to go? And like, I just felt like they were talking to each other like real friends. And that felt like how we talk to all of our friends.
All right, let's bring it back to the food though. So she also says that she wants to up her protein. And like, that's so relatable to me. I'm always trying to get my protein.
But I'm gonna, if I'm allowed to say unrelatable, that pasta portion. What?
Unrelatable.
I'm eating the whole container, but that's just me. That's my truth.
You know what is relatable though? She eats gluten.
Amen.
You know? Relatable.
Yeah, and also she does obviously like Beyonce. We've seen her and Harry at the concerts together, but then she mentions Beyonce on the show, and like I'm just like, okay, you are like us. We are all jamming to the same music together. Let's go on a car ride, Meghan, to Santa Barbara.
Invite us to your house, Meghan. We will come. We're nice, and I can make really good lemonade. Okay, so next week we're gonna go over episode 102. Her friend Mindy Kaling is coming by. They're gonna do some party prep. They're gonna do some kid foods. Should be fun. But that's all the time we have for today.
Please subscribe and comment on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're our OG friend,
a real friend, just send us a text, DM us, write a comment in our pictures, the stories. I don't care. You know how to get in contact with me.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me. I'm at Erin Jones-Wesley on all socials.
And I'm Diaz for Danny on all socials. It's been real. It's been fun. Toodaloo.
Does that work?